What's good with y'all, man? Welcome back to ag.speaks. I appreciate y'all for checking me back out today. If this your first time to the channel, I appreciate you for giving me a chance. If you're a returning member, I appreciate you continuously helping me build this channel up, get more people involved and subscribed and stuff like that. I appreciate y'all a whole bunch. On this video, I want to be telling y'all to basically lower your expectations that you set for others. Like lower the way that you look at people and how you perceive them to supposed to act for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to word that the best way I can. But sometimes I feel like a lot of people get so caught up in the way they think that they don't realize that other people think differently than they do. They get so caught up in what they would do for a person that they don't realize that everybody wouldn't do the same for them. People get so caught up in their own mind, their own brain, that it makes them mad in certain situations where they really should just be indifferent and just walk away from the situation if they feel a certain way about it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people who they place these expectations on people and expect them to do certain things or go out their way for them, but then when they don't get that result, they get upset, they get angry, they start calling people out their names, they start calling people fake. Now they got online beefs, now they got this going on, that going on, they creating enemies because they hold people to this high regard, but they don't really have a reason to hold people to that high regard. People need to prove themselves to even be worthy of that expectation. But when you're in the habit of giving somebody that expectation so quickly, right off the bat, because that's the way you think and that's the way that's the way that you hold yourself as far as expectation. So some people feel like if I hold myself to this expectation, if I see myself up here, if I say I'm gonna do this and do that, then I have to do this and do that. So then sometimes those same people, they look at other people like, well, I'm gonna hold them up there too, because if I hold myself to this expectation, I'm gonna hold them to this expectation as well. And when you do that, it sets you up for disappointment, it sets you up for angry moments, and it sets you up for basically gaining enemies. Because if you're falling out with people because of expectations you've set, it's kind of your fault, because everybody isn't gonna do what you're going to do. Everybody doesn't have the same mindset that you have. Everybody doesn't have as big of a heart as you may have. It's a lot of people out here who will tell you one thing and do another. It's a lot of people out here who don't got your best interest at heart. It's a lot of people out here who don't want to really see you succeed deep down inside. So you got to realize, like, people aren't meant to be taken so serious. People aren't meant to be so embedded in our hearts that we get mad whenever they do anything. It's just like, you got to understand, everybody is different. The way that you came up, the way that you think, the way that you were taught to look at life and to live life is not the same way that everybody else was brought up and taught to live life. You know what I mean? And it's not always necessarily that that person is wrong. It's not always necessarily that that person is a bad person or a fake person or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just you guys are really just different. You guys really just have different views. Places that you may lack in your life, this person might be strong, and vice versa. The same place this person might be strong at, you know what I'm saying, you might be lacking that, like I said, and vice versa. So when it comes down to it, you got to get over that idea that it's your way or the highway, or get over that idea that it's your way of thinking or no way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get out of that, because like I said, you're going to set yourself up for a lot of disappointment, and a lot of people are going to let you down if you think like that. Now, if you get to a point where you start to accept people for who they are and understand that everything doesn't deserve a reaction, everything isn't about getting mad, everything isn't about taking it to the 100th level as far as like the situation goes. When you can realize that some things are just meant to be let go, everything doesn't deserve a reaction. When you realize people think differently, when you realize that what this person does isn't going to ruin your life or anything. Once you get to that point in your life when you start to realize that, and you stop pointing the finger at everybody, you start taking accountability for the way that you think and for the way that you move and for the way that you hold people to these expectations. Once you start taking accountability for that, you'll start to realize, like, it doesn't really matter what somebody else is doing. It doesn't really matter if this person, you know what I'm saying, acts this way or acts that way, because that's not you. It's not affecting the way you move. All it's doing is, like I said, it might set you up for disappointment, but you got to understand who you're dealing with. And you should be more grateful that this person is showing you different sides than not, because you don't want, if you got people hiding a side of their personality from you, you can't really trust that person. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like you got to just accept people for who they are and accept people's flaws. Like, some people aren't good at keeping their word. Some people aren't good at sharing. Some people aren't good at looking out for you the way you would look out for them. And that, like I said, that doesn't make them a bad person. You don't know what they went through in life to make them like that. But if you can accept them and learn to still show love to people, and even though you might not agree with certain ways they have, if you could still learn to love people and treat people kindly, I feel like you're gonna get blessed from that, man. You're gonna have a way better outlook on life. You're gonna be naturally happier thinking like that, opposed to thinking the other way where you want to be negative and you want to be all, you know what I mean? You want to be all argumentative and things like that, man. That's not really good for nobody. I don't care who you are. Nobody should really want to think like that or be like that or go through that with people. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, everybody is different. So stop holding people to these high expectations. It's not good for you. It's not good for nobody around you. It's no point of doing it in the first place. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. You feel me? If somebody a good person, they're a good person. They're a bad person, move on. Or even if you don't want to move on, if they cool people, but you just don't like this or that, accept them for who they are, including their flaws. It's things that you could talk about without making it an argument. It's things that you can try to get through to somebody without making it sound judgmental. Judgmental. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate everybody for watching this video, man. I hope you got some value from this today. If you have any questions, concerns, you want me to talk about any topics, feel free to comment down below. Other than that, I'm gone.